So here we are today at the Sound House, and we are recording the first box set of what I hope will be millions of them, doing a reboot of an old ITV show called Sky.
Before taking the role, I hadn't heard of the original Sky series, but once I looked it up on YouTube and read the novel, I was really excited, as it's an amazing piece of sci-fi that not a lot of people have heard of, I think, but it really is something special.
I'd never seen or heard of Sky before. It came out a couple of years before I was born, so it was a little before my time anyway. And it came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen anything about it on any of those nostalgia shows or anything. It just a bit of a bolt out the blue.
Before I took on the role, I hadn't heard or seen Sky at all. No, I hadn't heard anything about it, so it was interesting to have a dive. Being in Sky has made me interested in hearing more about it and what other kind of sci-fi things are out there that none of us know about.
So Sky started back in 1975. It was a TV series on ITV, made by the HTV region, Patrick Drumgoole, who did all these fantastic shows back in the 70s. It was written by Bob Baker and Dave Martin, who'd had very many successful years on Doctor Who. Everyone thought it was a kind of ecological show, all about saving nature, but actually what they did that was so clever is it was ecological in sense, but it's about this alien person that comes to Earth and is the hero. He's called Sky, but actually Earth turns against him, and what we're doing is they found that they had to run away from Earth.
I'm playing Sky, who is the eponymous character from the original series, and they're described as an alien, a traveller, and at one point possibly a god, or certainly to humans. And Sky has ended up in the wrong place and time through some sort of accident and relies on the help of some local humans to be able to get back to the correct space and time.
And so the series was about this boy and a girl who find Sky, and they have to take him to Stonehenge, which is where his Jugonet is, which is his posh term for teleport, and that will take him home. And Arby, who's the boy, follows him through the Jugonet, and the very last episode of Sky is set in the far, far future, which is after this thing called the Chaos. We never find out what the Chaos is really, but in the far future, it is clearly post-nuclear or something like that. And then Arby goes home and he takes with him, as a gift from Sky, a tiny little portion of his power in his hand. It makes his hand glow all sort of black and green. And that's the end of the series in 1975. So we're picking this up in 2025. And in that time in between, Arby has gone on basically to sort of go on a bit of a crusade about ecology and saving the world and trying to be as good as Sky. Unfortunately, A, nobody believes him. B, he's a little bit excitable at the best of times. And C, he's got this power inside him and it's broken his mind. It drives him mad. And so we find him 50 years later inside a hospital where he's being looked after, a residential home. And our lead characters of this version is Arby as an old man and his niece, Rebecca, Bex, and Bex's friend, Kyle, and Sky, who is reborn in a new body all these years later, and he's come back. He's realised two things. One, that the power he left with Arby is going to break him because he's a human, not a god. And secondly, Sky needs it himself because he is very ill, and he's realised that by giving this portion of himself to Arby 50 years ago, he needs it back, otherwise he's going to die. And that's where we kick off.
When I was preparing for the role, I was really inspired by Mark Harrison, who played Sky in the 1970s series. He was very sort of visually striking. He wore these contact lenses that made his eyes completely blue and sort of both visually and vocally resembled a young David Bowie. So I was very inspired by both of those when looking into the character.
Being one of the original characters from the series, there's much more history to work with there than anyone who's now playing freshly created characters. He's very naive young man in the original series. It was fun to watch it and to study how he played the role. Now, of course, playing him 50 years later, the character's a sort of angry, embittered, lost old man. He's a wonderful character to play in terms of all this sort of roiling pain and confusion and bitterness churning away. It's a real thrill to play something that meaty, actually. There's so much pain there, and pain is always good material to work with for drama.
I've really enjoyed playing Bex. Bex Briggs is sparky. She's got a wonderful relationship with her uncle, which I think is a kind of multi-generational teens, and her uncle Robbie's in his 60s, and the way they kind of get on and poke each other is really fun. She's really caring and loving and logical and pursues so much, but is brave, courageous, and just really keeps the story moving, but also holds all the other characters to account, which is enjoyable to do.
It's been amazing. The team at Big Finish and the other actors have been really fun to work with. There's been a great atmosphere working together on the scenes in the studio, and I'm just having a ball.
It's only my second time working for Big Finish. Gary's a pleasure to work with. He's very easygoing. He knows what he wants, and at the same time, he's very gentle. He's very encouraging, which is a huge pleasure always to work with. Everyone on the cast has been a delight. It turned out I worked with one of them on the last thing I did. It's really nice to find a company and you gel with them instantly. So it's been a pleasure.
I've absolutely loved working with the cast and crew. It's been so fun. It's such a lovely vibe to be around. Lots of different voices, lots of different energies, and just like, it's just really nice to do the work and respond to each other going through this mad sci-fi journey that has been going for a long time.
One of the biggest challenges for me as the producer and director is it's also the first time that I've written the whole thing myself. And so it's been very exciting after the days we've spent here, actually seeing the words I've done and the words I wrote and all the ideas I had, and thinking, I hope this works through the actors. I hope they get it. I hope they enjoy it. That's the main thing, is making sure the actors actually have a good time and actually enjoy playing these outlandish parts. And so we're here at the end of the recording and everything's come together. And I'm really, really pleased. Everyone seems happy. I think the scripts have been done proud by some fantastic actors. And now we go off and hopefully plan for the next box set.